Hey, you guys, welcome back to Rocket City Yardstead. If you're new, my name is Sarah. Welcome. So, today we are separating out plants and up potting. Um, I have quite a few tomatoes where multiples germinated. Some of these I need to just snip off the extra plant. I'm really leery of doing that. I hate it, but I only have so much space for tomatoes. But some of them, like this cup, it has 4 Amish paste tomatoes in it. I need 3 Amish paste tomatoes, so I need to get them into their own cups. And so I just thought I'd bring you guys along while we worked on plants today. I also need to do some separating with my peppers. I had some fantastic germination with my peppers this year. And so I think I'm going to have the space that I could plant them all. I really love having like canned jalapenos. Freeze dried jalapenos are really great as well. I'm thinking here, you guys. I think my fertilizer did not make it all the way to this end of my tray, and that's why some of my plants look a little bit sad. But my one Cherokee purple that germinated does not look very good. But these 2 black crims look fantastic, and so I'm thinking that I would like to save the second one, and that way I'd still have 2 purple tomatoes. I can get them out of this cup. I normally end up having a lot more tomatoes than I really need by the time it's time to plant. And I'm trying to be good about taking care of my plants. Okay, there we go. Okay. I'm just going to have really dirty hands today, I think. I watered this soil down really good. Ooh, don't fall in there. I'm a little bit nervous about these plant babies in this wind today, but I do not want to get dirt all in my house. So I just filled this cup, used my finger to make a big hole. Ooh. We will just take this tomato seedling, get its roots down in there. We're going to plant it down really to where the leaves are. And so all of that stem can start growing roots as well. And that's going to make our plant a healthier plant with a really nice, strong root system. There we go. One done. Make sure I stick a tag in there. I've had years where I either didn't make enough tags, like I did 4 tomatoes in a row, and I thought, I'll remember. And then moving things in and out of the house, things got all moved around. And I just kind of had surprise tomatoes. So this year, everything's got its own tag. We don't want surprise tomatoes because I have downsized the amount of tomatoes I'm growing this year. We figured out we kind of need to ration how many tomatoes we eat. And so I don't need quite as many, but I still want a nice variety. So we have like 1 of every kind of big slicer tomato, maybe 2 of a couple of them, but for the most part, just 1. We grew pineapple tomatoes for the first time last year, and they were our favorite. And so I had a tomato that none germinated. What was that? A mortgage lifter. None of the mortgage lifters germinated. And so we might do 2 pineapples instead of having that mortgage lifter. That was my other black creme. I find it easier just to pull everything out of the cup, gently separate them out. and then refill the cup with the soil. So that's how I'm going to do this. Do you guys have a preferred way of doing your tomato starts? I am really bad about growing more than I need because I'm always afraid that something's going to happen and my starts are going to die. Sort of like those couple of Ukrainian tomatoes. Do you guys have any favorite tomato varieties you grow? I am growing, I don't think I talked about this in a video yet, but I am growing Amish paste and those Ukrainian purple tomatoes for paste tomatoes. And then I have Abe Lincoln, Cherokee purple, pineapple. I guess those are my big tomatoes, like my big slicers. And then I have Sun Golds, Purple Bumblebee, Sunrise Bumblebee, Super Sweet 100s. I think I left room for 16 tomatoes this year. And I would like to have a good variety. So just see what we can get. But this poor little guy, he is not a happy camper. He has one decent leaf at the moment. So we're going to see if we can nurse him to health. And if not, then it is what it is. Same for this little guy. One decent leaf. They're kind of curled, but I read that that's actually pretty normal for the Ukrainian purples. So who knows? I think I have up potted everything I need to. Oh no, I was gonna up pot some sun golds. I have 2 of these in here that I wanted to keep one of. If you have never grown sun golds, they are kind of like garden candy. They're just so delicious. So sweet. They do split in the rain, which is a bummer. I think that's pretty common with most yellow tomatoes. They're kind of a yellowy orange color, but it's worth it, I think, just because we love their flavor so much. And the sun golds in particular, they are really prolific. They were definitely my most giving tomato last year. So if I can find a spot to squeeze in an extra sun gold, I'm going to do it. Here we go. 1 sun gold up potted. I say up potted. I guess I'm not really putting them in bigger cups. I'm just giving them their own cups. I'm giving this a peek to see if there's anything else I really want to up pot, or if I just need to do some pruning. Much to my chagrin, I think I really just need to do some snipping back of extra tomatoes. So I'm going to grab some pruners and we're just going to cut out the extras. It feels a little bit like a death, guys. So as much as I hate to do this, I am going to come in here and just snip these plants off that are extras that I don't need. I put fertilizer in here. I kind of put it in the corner of the tray. And then I poured water in and got it dissolved, but I don't think it made it all the way to the other end of the tray. And I think that's why some plants are very weak looking and others are stronger. And so normally I don't top water, but I've mixed some fertilizer into this. Just some fish emulsion, so they'll get some nice green growth. And I wanted to make sure it gets nice and evenly divided between the plants. Before I separate out my peppers, I wanted to show you guys what they're looking like because they're looking so great. They're still quite small, but like these poblanos here, I think I planted 6 poblanos. or 6 cups of poblanos, but every seed germinated. So I actually have 12. I think I'm going to have room to plant them all, and we will definitely eat them. And so I'm going to try and up pot all of these. I went ahead and got another tray ready because I have so many that need to be separated out. I wanted to show you guys the loofah that I planted. Everything I'd ever heard about loofah said that they took a long time to germinate and get going. And these guys germinated in just a couple of days, and they're getting quite large. And they're starting to have roots coming out of the bottom. I don't know if you can see that. I'm a little bit nervous about that, that they're going to get too big before I can actually plant them outside, but we'll see. So I'm going to go ahead and get all of these up potted and into their own cups. Well, you guys, I got all of my peppers and tomatoes up potted. Let me give you a peek here. So this tray is full of peppers. This one's full of peppers and the 2 loofahs. And then let's turn around here. I have 12 cups in that one that I'm planning on planting out in probably cucumbers or something that I want to get started soon, maybe flowers. I'd planned on planting seeds in those cups today, but it took me a little longer this morning than I anticipated. And so I'm into the full bright of the day. But there's some things back here in the garden I wanted to show you. And so I thought we would do that before I go in. So one of the primary things I'm so excited about, if you've been around, you've heard me say I never have grown potatoes before, and they popped up while we were gone on our little road trip. And this is just the most exciting thing in the world, to go from totally bare ground to these plants. We are supposed to get a freeze. When is that? We're supposed to get a freeze maybe like Monday. And so I'm going to need to cover these from what I understand, but that's not a big deal. Also, let's go see if we can find it. Here's our lettuce, by the way. It's looking good. I do need to bring the hose out and water. Oh, I wanted to show you guys the carrots. When I showed you the carrots like a week ago or so, they just looked like 2 little baby leaves, but now they actually kind of have carrot tops. Let's see if I can, right there. But they're all over. Oh, here we go. Some of my dill that I planted germinated. See the little fronds here? So that's exciting. The spinach we planted from seed is looking fantastic. Some of this is actually big enough to harvest now, which is awesome. My radishes that came up are looking great. I'll have radishes in no time. And here you can see some of my peas have started to latch on. So that's very exciting. I did want to show you this cabbage plant, not cabbage, this kale plant I have here. It's been in the 80s. And there are its flower buds. Happens early some years. One of the things I mentioned to you recently was that I wanted to make chive blossom vinegar, and I kept forgetting over the years. Got home from my trip and I have lots of chive blossom, so I just grabbed a jar. I'm gonna pick some. I don't know how many I'll actually get, but I'll go around to my various chive plants. I figured I would put them in a quart jar just so I have an idea of how many there actually are. And then I can always add more vinegar and chives to this jar if I want to, as more blossoms open. I will wash these before we add vinegar to them, but I think it's going to be really nice. I've heard chive blossom vinegar is great for salad dressing, so I'm excited to try this. So you guys, I'm going to show you something else that really went to town while we were gone, and that's my bee balm. But I'm going to tell you a story first. I had 2 of these. They're both in grow bags, and I set them at the ends of this bed. And The other one I went to pick up and try and move to a different location at the end of the first year, and I killed it. It had rooted completely through the bottom of the bag, down into the mulch, and I guess down into the soil below. And yeah, it didn't survive. So this one, it just stays in place here because it's rooted through the ground as well. So be careful what you plant in grow bags and where you set the grow bags, because it might just grow right through the bottom and into the ground. Here's a better look at one of our rows of carrots. You can see all the little carrot greens. I do need to get out here and weed soon. Also, I thought I'd show you guys, I need to do some research and see if I can still prune them because I never got to it while they were dormant. But my apple trees are blooming. These beautiful, beautiful clusters of apple blossoms. It smells wonderful. Well, you guys, I am sure I look a mess, but I wanted to show you guys what all of the plants look like now that they have been put in their own cups. Some of them look a little sad. That is really normal. And every year it makes me really nervous and then they bounce back. But here, let me show you. You can see like this little guy, he's just leaning over the side of the cup. He'll be fine. They'll perk back up once their root systems get over the shock. Got all these peppers. Tomatoes down here. More peppers. And cups just waiting for me to decide what to put in them. I think that here in the next day or so, I'm going to get a lot of my frost tender things started. I had trouble last year with things like cucumbers. They didn't germinate out in the garden. And I don't know if that was something with the garden, if it was my seeds. I'm trying to remember. I think we had a really dry spring and it wasn't raining a whole lot. So they might just not have stayed damp enough. Normally, I don't have to water a whole lot to get my seeds to germinate. So I think we're going to start those kind of things inside this year. So I'll bring you guys along for that. So right now I'm going to go get my hands all washed up really good. I'm going to get those chive blossoms washed and then we'll get our chive blossom vinegar going. I just gently rinse those chive blossoms, and I hope this isn't a bad idea, but I put them in my salad spinner so we can get some of the water out. Oh yeah, they still look fine, but that dried them out nicely. So now we'll just pop them back in this jar. I think that I am going to stick with the quart jar. That way I can add more chive blossoms as they're ready and more vinegar as needed, because I think we're really going to like this. And so I want to have plenty since we only get chive blossoms once a year. So I ended up with about a cup and a half of chive blossoms today. I hope I have enough vinegar. I might not, but we'll just have to see. I'm going with white wine vinegar. It's my favorite for salads, and so I thought it would be a good option. So all we're supposed to have to do is pour the vinegar over the chives. I think I have just enough vinegar here. I want to make sure they're submerged, so I'm going to grab a spoon. There we go. So now we just need to put a lid on this, let it sit for a few weeks, and the vinegar is supposed to turn a really pretty pinky purple color. It's supposed to get infused with that nice chive flavor, and we'll come back and use it in a salad dressing or something to see how much we like it. Thanks for hanging out with me today, you guys. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you're staying safe if you are in the path of any of the bad weather that's been occurring through the middle of the country the last few days. And I'm really grateful you were here. I'll see you next time. Bye.